I've got a Bitstamp chart up. You know, we had two issues about what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Firstly, we might be making a big giant wedge or triangle, which would be bearish because it would mean we're making a big wave 4, and we're likely to see something like this, where we have one more push of the highs and then one more final leg lower, maybe retest 3,000 before we make a bottom. And the alternative is that this isn't a wedge, that we've actually made a bottom down here in December, and this is a wave 1, this is a big wave 2, and this is wave 1 of 3, and that means that when this correction is over, instead of seeing another swing lower, what we should see is another really strong move to the upside, like these impulsive moves that we saw when we rallied in December and when we rallied in the second week of February. So we really need to kind of watch and see what happens here before we know what's going to happen next. If you put a gun to my head, I'm going to say go with the trend, and the likelihood is that we'll stay in this sideways range and we'll complete this triangle and do one more retest to the lows. But I'm really open, you know, because of timing, because we've done the same big weekly, you know, in terms of timing, we've done the same big correction that we made in 2013, 2014, for that reason and for a whole bunch of other reasons, mainly this weekly 200 moving average. I'm really open to this being a bottom and we're done. It's just when you look at this on the weekly here, when you look at this, it does, you remember the final legs, even in a correction, are 5 waves, very often 5 waves. So when you look at this, it does look like we've still, if this is the last swing lower, it still looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe a little fake break underneath this weekly 200 moving average that we recover very quickly. That would be good. You know, believe me, when I see a drop out of here, I'm going to be sitting waiting to buy for sure. So unfortunately, we still have to be patient. We're still in this range that we've really been in since November. This final swing lower that we made has really defined our range. So what's going to be the confirmation that we've reversed the trend if we take out this high? Remember, that's one way to look at it, 4,400. Another way to look at what's going to reverse the trend, so above 4,400 we've reversed the trend. If we go back to the weekly moving average, weekly chart, and we put our fib retracers on, I see that we've got our log scale on here. Let's go back. So remember, Fibonacci retracement levels work like a staircase. Their resistance when you're underneath them, but their support when you're above them. So we dropped underneath, having, you know, each time, the first time back to each one of these fib levels, we bounced off them and rallied. So the 236, the 382, the 50% bounced off it and rallied. 618, I know it was spiky, but that's what we did. This 786 fib level though, we dropped underneath it and it's been resistance. So 4,300 is the high, the level that we need to get back above based on that. And if we take this previous high here, 4,400. So I'm going to say above 4,400, we've made a bottom. That's also the weekly 20 moving average. So for me, that's the confirmation, if we make a sharp move to the upside, that we've done it. So if you're going to get all, you know, if Bitcoin makes a big, what I'm trying to say is if Bitcoin makes a big move higher out of here, so say we have a big rally, we're at what, 3,800 at the moment, and it rallies all the way up to 4,400, and you've got this wicked FOMO, don't have it, because, you know, this is the level that will confirm it. So you could wait for confirmation, wait for us to get above it, and still be able to buy for a really good long-term position in Bitcoin. So no need for any FOMO. Until then, we're just going to learn to trade better and read the charts and get better at trading. So sideways range, nothing doing in Bitcoin. Whilst there is nothing doing in Bitcoin, and there really isn't anything, like, look at these moving averages on the hourly, on the 4 hourly, everything. When the moving averages go flat and go sideways. There is no trend, there's no edge. We don't know which way it'll go. I will say that for me, if I connect these lows like this, then, and I'll do it so I've got, if I connect these lows like this, and I think if we drop out the bottom of this trend line, so probably below 3,800, that, you know, 3,900 at Bitfinex. Bitfinex is still the only exchange out of line in terms of prices. You kind of need to add $100+. So if we break down, I think that will be the sign that the next leg lower is underway. If we zoom out to our wedge and say, where will it go? Well, if this is the first leg lower like this, we'll measure it and we'll project. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to line these up properly. I think it's going to be around 3,000. There we go, 3,450 area, and that's also where we'll meet the trend line. Remember, third touches of trend lines are very often false breaks, so that's where we will be looking. If we go below 3,640, we're headed to 3,447. If we look, just that's one different exchange as Bitfinex, and we'll see what price that is there. 3,530. So yeah, add about $100 or $110 to Bitcoin prices. So if we in Bitfinex draw the same trend line, if we break down, because we're just getting really a 4-hour sell signal here, aren't we? But we've got that 200 moving average. So if you widen out your trend line and you say, okay, underneath the 200, our first target would be back to that 200 moving average, and then underneath the 4-hour 200 moving average in Bitcoin, we've got a sell down to 35.30. So that's how I'm seeing Bitcoin. So if you want something to sell, that would be a sell. So big corrections are normally, here's the A, B, C, not normally, but here's an example. You see you have A, B, C, so here's your A leg. Then you have A, B, C up, there's your B leg. And then your final leg is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then you've gone A, B, C. That's what I'm expecting. So I think we've gone, I think we've gone A, because this is log scale, remember, so it doesn't look equal. A, B, C down. Then we had a funky irregular A, B, C up. And so this is where we start the fifth leg. So if we overlay that, we've gone 1 like this. Then our B leg is A irregular, so it didn't make a new high. B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why. And remember, I'm not an Elliott wave expert, but that's how I would see it. Okay. Now, if I say, okay, maybe I counted it wrong. Okay, so maybe this is. Here's a bullish one. Here, A, B, C. A. Oh, you see, this is where I run out of. No, it can't be. I kind of can't make it fit any other way. I think I did a way. Hold on. See. If this was the start, in fact, if this was ABC and then ABC and this was a really truncated here, so we were starting from here, we could say, okay, it would be 1, ABC, 2, and then this is wave 3, okay, and then remember, wave 3 can't be the shortest, so let's measure. That can't work, okay, because this wave 5's gone beyond that, okay, because, and here let me explain this quickly. Okay, if we count from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, say we're finished, then this wave in the middle, wave 3, can't be the shortest, and so let's measure it at the moment from that high to the low and get it all the way there. It is shorter than that wave and shorter than that wave, so that can't be the count. So it has to It has to start from here, not here. And this has to be ABC. So now we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we still need another fifth wave down. Now, why would we then be bullish here? Why would we then be bullish here? Because I argue with Elliott wave people about this, but a lot of fifth waves fail. A lot fail. And this fifth wave could fail too. So, you know, we've still got to do this, but and we could have done our ABC here. Now, if this is just, say this is not a triangle, wedges and triangles are very common in wave 5, but say this is not a triangle like this. This is just an ABC correction, and then we're going to do another fifth wave. Well, we could get down here and then not quite make a new low, make a marginal new low, and then we've qualified to finish. This is why I'm saying the biggest tell, you know, so we could do what we think is, you know, just A, B, C, D leg of our triangle, and then it takes off. Okay, and that, you know, that would be, so that's why we should also always watch the price action. And that's why sometimes, you know, people say, oh, you know, those fourth wave triangles, they don't work. You know, sometimes they break out to the upside. Sometimes they do, because it wasn't a triangle. It was A, B, C, marginal new low, took off. It failed fifth. This is a fail, and very bullish. So that's potential. So, you know, in that way we hold the 3,000 level, we don't make a new low, all of the kind of things that we calculated for will come true. So if you're going to have a big alarm to let you know that things might get moving, then we should put our alarm up here, shouldn't we? We should connect the highs, put our big fat alarm up here, and if we break out from here and then hold above it or do a very shallow pullback, that's going to be our, we're on our way up alert, okay? So that's where we are with Bitcoin. I'm still a little bit more bullish Ethereum than I am Bitcoin. So yeah, so I would say if you've got, everybody's got a bit of Bitcoin, or most of us have, haven't we? Because we're using it to buy other things with, and the alts are moving and we go back in and out. I'm just saying you might want to reduce how much you're holding if we break this lower trend line. I'm certainly not all in Bitcoin at the moment, and I think we're close to a bottom. But I think we could be looking at a retest of the lows or the bottom of the wedge or something like that. So below this 4-hour 200 moving average, another leg lower. And Bitcoin does like this 400 moving average, 200 moving average, it behaves with it. So let's see. It also likes the 100 moving average on the daily. So if we look at this, where our first support might hold on the daily, then it's here. So if we just do the 618 thing, we will hold this 100 moving average and 50, and that would be more bullish. So in Bitfinex, that's around 3,700 to 3720 to 3770 in this zone. So around here. But if this breaks, then we go back to the bottom. Remember, these moving averages are flat. So it's not quite the same, you know, it doesn't mean anything more than just sideways, back and forward through the moving averages until we break down.